Hello and welcome to Baldwin Woodville High School for Blackhawk TV's presentation of the Prescott Cardinals coming in to Baldwin Woodville High School to face off against our Baldwin Woodville Blackhawks here in Middle Border Conference boys basketball action. My name's Jordan Lehman. I'm joined by our famous cameraman here at Blackhawk TV, Zach Ambrose, and owner and operator of Blackhawk TV, Jeremy Nygaard. How are you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing great. It's always fun to be in the gym, and it's more fun when two teams that have had a lot of success are playing each other.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one that I've had circled on my calendar since the schedule came out. Watching our kids over the last handful of years progressing the program to a point of being highly competitive in the Middle Border Conference, and then obviously following along with the Middle Border for the last couple decades. Prescott coming into their own about a decade and a half ago, and then continuing to be one of the perennial powers in the state of Wisconsin, with Coach Nick Johnson leading them to state a handful of times, along with a state title, and at one point 10 plus consecutive, I think it was 10 plus consecutive conference championships or somewhere close to that. Coach Johnson, one of the better coaches in the state, really, of any sport, and to have him in the conference and to see the product that he's produced has been special. And tonight we're going to see another coach, obviously, in Scott Benoit, who's had a lot of success in this conference, face off against him. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the one thing that we didn't foresee when we circled this date was that there would be another team in this conference that was undefeated.
Right.
I think the expectation going into this year is that with a healthy Mason Werner and a healthy Jordan Momlov and a healthy Eli Kunin and a healthy Dallas Wallen, that these two teams would probably be playing this game to determine, potentially the one seed and the conference champ. And lo and behold, we have the upstart Osceola Chieftains led by Braden Bradway.
Right.
Undefeated not only in conference but on the season.
Right, and this is, yeah, exactly. I mean, we talked about before the season off air. This was one that we had circled because hopefully it was a game to decide the champion of the Middle Border Conference. However, this will be a game that Prescott needs to keep pace with Osceola, at least. Obviously, Prescott having another matchup with Osceola on their schedule, they control their own destiny, so to speak, to achieve a co-conference title, one of a number of titles for Coach Johnson in this Prescott group. And to talk about some of the stars of tonight, we'll start with the visitors. Coach Johnson, having played Jordan Momlov, the senior, all 4 years on varsity, over 1,000 points, well over 1,000 points now, and one of the best shooters of the basketball from any distance that this conference really has ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, the legend of Jordan Momlov started as a freshman, and I think the game that put him really on the map was his regional final performance at home against Somerset, where I believe he had like 7 threes and 23 points at halftime.
Right.
But always played in the shadow of, Parker, Jacob Doffing, and then he really had to kind of take over, and he hasn't disappointed, and he's been, I think there's an outside chance that, he could break 2,000.
Right.
If the season extends a little bit and he continues to score in the volume that he has.
Yeah, it's been a real treat to watch him progress as a player, coming in as a freshman, being a spot-up 3 guy and doing that at a very, very high level. Continuing that kind of play as a sophomore, but as the true point guard, and then now kind of a do-it-all point guard that facilitates, that scores, even rebounds for this Prescott team. Joining him, junior, number 3, Dallas Wallen, one of my personal favorite players to watch ever in high school hoops, who, comes in 6'4", 6'5", can jump, can shoot, and has college coaches around the region kind of bugging their eyes out at what he potentially could see as a ceiling. And obviously in the Middle Border, he's doing just fine, averaging over 20 a game, over 10 boards a game, and almost 5 assists a game.
Yeah, he's always been a double-double machine. And, I wonder what more he could do if he didn't have to worry about his hair covering up his vision all the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's got the great flow. Doesn't tie it back. Just lets it ride. Never appears overly excited or he's just got that chill surfer vibe to him, and he's a problem. He's a long problem, and what they've done a lot is played a 1-3-1 zone and put him at the top and just made teams deal with his length.
Right.
And it's not fun.
No, he's one of the better athletes in the conference, one of the better ball players in this part of the state. It's going to be fun to watch him face up against our Baldwinville Blackhawks. And looking at the Hawks tonight, it starts and ends with big number 34, Eli Coonan, the senior Bemidji State football commit who has had a heck of a senior year, averaging close to 20 points a game, over 10 boards a game, so averaging a double-double for the Hawks. And in some of the lower scoring victories as of late for the Hawks, he's really been a staple to what offense BW can produce.
Yeah, and I think, you talked about Dallas's statistics, and you talked about Eli's statistics, and they're similar, but the reality is Prescott's averaging in the 70s.
Right.
And we're averaging in the probably low, maybe 40s at this point.
Right.
So we're talking about a guy that's scoring 50% of the points,
right,
has a huge amount of rebounds, and blocks a ton of shots. And typically with bigs, you get bigs for a while, then bigs take a break. And with Eli, unless he's in foul trouble, Coach Benoit's counting on him for 36 minutes.
Right. Yeah, really, really, really unique situation there, but necessary. As this BW group, depth not been a huge strength for them this season, although they've had some upperclassmen and underclassmen step up in really big ways. They definitely know, Coach Benoit seems to know the guys he needs to ride with in crunch time. And after losing senior leader guard Mason Werner, Eli Coonan having to be the kind of that sole role of leadership on the floor, and obviously very skilled, very physically gifted as well. Tonight's matchup, when you think about pace, when you think about types of play, there's a lot of different opinions on what's effective, what's not. But what do you think tonight dictates a W or a loss for the Hawks?
Well, just based on what we've seen recently, I think Coach Benoit is going to try to play a game that has the winner in the 50s.
Right.
And I think if we can do that, if we can score in 55 and hold them around there, we got a shot. If we're playing a game in the first, if we go into half and Prescott's got close to 40, I think that's where it's going to be a little bit harder in the second half to do what we want to do. What Coach Johnson's going to try to do with Prescott is they're going to try to play a game that the winner's going to score in the 80s.
Right.
And we saw what happens against a really good Osceola team. We were in that game and ended up losing it with Osceola had 38 points.
Right.
So that 50s is kind of the sweet spot for me. If the winner has 55 or less, I think we got a really, really good shot.
Right.
If the winner has more than 55, I would say probably not our night.
All right, well, at Black Rock TV, we're going to take a quick break here as we get the national anthem underway, introductions. It is Parents' Night, I believe.
It could be, yeah.
I think there's some roses.
No, we got did we host Central yet?
Well, I think Parents' Night, we got roses, and then Senior Night will be the next one, I think. So we're going to have some opening ceremonies here. It might take a little bit longer than normal, but we will join you for the tip and this exciting matchup between Prescott and BW. All right, here we go. Blackhawk TV back with you, and ball to Woodville and Prescott, ready to tip. Coonan and Wallen at the tip. And Prescott will get it. Number 0, Jordan Momlov has it. He's one of the starters for Prescott, a senior. Also starting number 1, Ian Lieska, junior. Number 3, Dallas Wallen, a junior. Number 14, Brandon Stewart, a senior. And number 33, Brady Block, a senior.
So the Hawks come out in their 3-2 zone, but they're going to have to check Momlov every inch of the court.
Momlov penetrates, tries to dish off on Prescott, going to the Hawks. Starters for the Hawks this evening: number 1, a junior, Colin Fritz. Number 2, a sophomore, Evan Kloss. Number 3, a junior, James Borkart. Number 32, a senior, Sean Van Someren. And finally, number 34, a senior, Eli Coonan.
Prescott in there in the 2-3, it appears.
Baseline jumper, Sean Van Someren. His favorite shot for 2. BW 2, Prescott 0. Another night, another zone look for the Hawks. Like you mentioned, Stewart all by himself. 2 Hawks left him. He went straight to the basket for 2. Tie game.
That's always the hardest thing to do in a zone, especially if you're so concerned with the presence of one player. It's easy to unmark guys.
Right wing 3, Fritz. Nothing but net. 5-2, BW in the lead.
Last year in the game at Prescott, Fritz hit a really big 3 late in the game in the corner. He'd been pretty cool from the perimeter and got him going.
Colin buddies with a couple of the Prescott's better performers, notably Wallen. Happy to see his first shot go through. Wallen hits the deck. Van Someren, a good look underneath with block. Couple inches too short there. Hawks up 5. Really extending their zone are the Hawks, forcing Prescott to penetrate. Wallen in the corner, down to number 1, Liesk. He's got 2. Van Someren, good look. Couple feet from the basket. Good for 2 more for the senior.
You know, my comment about getting to 55, that was under the assumption that Prescott was going to play some defense.
Right. So far so good for the Hawks offensively. Couple mistakes defensively leading to some easy Prescott points. Prescott at 6 now, just down 3.
But Prescott's going to have to check somebody at some point. There's good hands in the passing lane.
Block with the steal. Already almost 3 minutes into this one. 18-minute halves in high school hoops in Wisconsin. Wallen kicks to block. Thought about the left wing 3. Momlov yet to get a shot. BW communicating. That's an easy look for Wallen. Good look by Block. And you don't want Dallas that close to the basket with that good of a look. Prescott within 1.
The pressure on Momlov, though, has been great. I mean, they're following him around. They're walking him from zone to zone.
Right wing 3, no good. Same spot he hit one from earlier for Fritz. Here comes Momlov and the Cardinals. Momlov looks to dish, thought it was kicked. No call. Incidental in nature.
That was an interesting no call to me because it looked not incidental.
Right, left wing 3, Fritz sees the green light. He'll crash.
I mean, he knew undoubtedly that Dallas Wallen was going to block that shot.
Right. So after a couple exchanges of the basketball, BW still up 1. Coonan trying to get going, very physical underneath. Setting the precedent early that the kids can play are the officials. Right wing 3, Momlov just in and out. Really good board there by Liesk. And Prescott in the lead.
And if you had Ian Liesk with 8 points, 4.5 minutes into the game. It's impressive.
Right wing three, no good for Borkart. BW's struggles from the perimeter continue. Team percentage under 30 on the year. Brandon Stewart puts his shoulder down in to Coonan, and a body is called on Eli Coonan. Brandon Stewart, one of the seniors, getting a lot of playing time. Came onto the scene last season for the Cardinals, averaging almost 12 a game. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Yeah, and I think the notable thing in that half-court set was it's Eli's first foul.
Right.
And that's going to bear watching every second of the game.
Stewart good on the first. 11-9 Prescott. Good for both is Stewart. 12-9 now. The lead is 3. Like we mentioned before the game began, Van Someren continues his hot start. Pulls the Hawks within 1. But Prescott looking to keep pace just behind Osceola. Osceola Chieftains number 4 in the state, 19-0 overall, undefeated in conference, but yet to face off for the second time with Prescott. BW forces a turnover on that possession.
I think their game at Prescott will take place after the seeds are announced for the playoffs. I believe the seeds are announced on the 20th and they play on the 20th.
Top of the key 3, Clausen. Long. Board is finally secured by Wallen. Ooh, tough look there from Stewart to Wallen. Out of bounds.
Yeah, turnovers are typically not how Prescott ends possessions. Usually ends with a shot. You know, I think that game against Prescott or against Ellsworth a few years ago where they scored 133, they went like 40-some possessions to start the game without a turnover.
Unbelievable. What's also unbelievable is Sean Van Someren's start. He
That's 10.
has not seen the ball not go in the hoop. He's got 10 of the 13. BW in the lead. Momlov, top of the key 3, deep 3, no good. Physical play continues, but the boys will play on.
You know, we were in the gym a couple nights ago watching the girls play Osceola. Osceola has a senior that's a phenomenal scorer, and Hattie Fox, and she struggled to get a basket early, but she got warm late, and Jordan Momlov is just kind of a ticking time bomb when it comes to scoring.
Right.
And so you see if the first couple hit the rim and you're like, maybe this isn't his night. And I think at some point it's probably going to be his night.
And we've got officials conversing with visiting student section. Last time I was on a call of a boys game, a fan was kicked out of the gym.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's some frustration mounting. There was a questionable call on the first possession, and then on this one, the ball. Oh, wow.
And a sequence there with a blatant push off by Coonan. Sorry, buddy, it was. And then somehow Coonan was brought down to the ground. And I believe the call was just out of bounds?
Yep, just out of bounds.
Interesting precedent to set. And it will be a far more contentious gym if some of those closer calls are whistles later in the game and more important times of the game. There will be more fans getting under these officials' skin.
So the frustration was we made an errant pass that was heading out. Official down here, not going to name any names, conference commissioner, didn't get out of the way. Ball deflected back to our player, which the official is just part of the floor, so that's what happens, but you got to see that happen and get out of the way and not interfere with the game.
Couple scoreless possessions for both teams. More turnovers, good hands by Coonan there. Couple steals already for the senior. Ferndenzer will gather the deflected pass. BW collects. And both teams hard to get the ball around. And a body by Ferndenzer. He attempts to take what might have looked like a charge to him, but will put Stewart back at the free throw line, looking to give the Cardinals either a tie or the lead once again.
And we're going to play this game in such a manner where Prescott's going to say, you know what, BW, somebody other than Eli's going to have to beat us.
Right.
And BW's going to play the game and say, you know what, Prescott, someone other than Jordan Momlov is going to have to beat us.
First free throw good for Stewart. 13-13 now. And the second free throw good. So notably for Prescott, yet to score number 0, Momlov. Van Someren misses his last couple attempts after a very hot start. He's got 10 of BW's 13. But 0 and 3 for Prescott, and there's 0 with his first mate. He'll shut me up. But only 5 points between them as they average 44. Biggest lead of the night for Prescott, 17-13 now.
Ooh.
Another turnover for BW. Wallen tries to penetrate, but it was 1-on-4. Hand gets on the ball, and here come the Blackhawks.
Yeah, that was really good D by Ethan Ferndenzer. Just picked the right time, and then Dallas Wallen just does that with his length, and it's gonna be a problem all night.
Transition 3, no good for Wallen, or Momlov, excuse me.
Oh, Temmer started for Prescott when we played at Prescott.
Yeah, number 4, sophomore Temmer's in the game now. Just over halfway through this first half. Another turnover. There probably isn't a statistician that keeps track of turnovers, records for turnovers in a first half or in a game.
But this might have it. All right, we got a timeout on the floor. It's going to be an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Blackhawk TV. Strikers Lanes and Sports Bar, Timmerman Realty, CW Garage Door Distribution, Whitecap Financial Advisors, First Bank of Baldwin, Fenner and Jewelers, Phoenix Grill, Baldwin Lightstream, Nielsen's Foods, Hilltop Pizza Planet, Precision Truck Service, St. Croix Custom Apparel, Precision Excavating Enterprises, Blackhawk Garage Door, Schaefer Financial Services, Culvers of Baldwin, Baldwin Greenhouse, St. Croix Garage Door, Wisconsin Credit Union, TMS Auto, Firehelm Langer, Western Wisconsin Health, Village Pharmacy, Pete's Construction, O'Connell Funeral Homes, Next Level Events by 22 Farms, Marco Septic, Flagship Ford, Independent Insurance Option with Charlotte Heimer, and Auto Appeal. Thank you to our sponsors. And now that I have everybody's attention, just a heads up, against Osceola girls game, we lost our signal at one point. Typically, we're able to rejoin that stream. So if we go freeze, wait, we should be back within a minute. But against Osceola, we lost it. We couldn't get back on that stream. I had to start a new stream. So if it seems like it's been a little bit longer, go back out, go back to the channel, and there might be a new stream. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but just to give you a heads up, that's what will happen in the event that we lose our signal.
Hawks back with a possession, down 7, trying to keep things contained. And initially, after the Hawks kept pace with high-flying Prescott, it is, like you mentioned before the game, a situation now where I think best case scenario for BW is defense stifles up, able to get some well-worked offensive possessions for points and keep this first half in around 30, maybe a little bit lower than 30 total. No good on the 3.
I mean, we had tied at 13, and then it's bang, 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 we're down by 7. And so the thing that our 3-2 isn't going to necessarily lead to, that Prescott's zone is showing that it'll lead to, are some fast break points. And if we're not getting points in transition, we're not proving that it's overly easy to get points in the half court.
Right. Really nice finish there in transition by the Hawks. Tough finish by Guthrie, one of the seniors off the bench that does a really nice job for Coach Benoit. Prescott averaging north of 70 points a game. Not the case for BW. Block, no good on the corner three.
Yeah, Prescott was 2-3, and Wallen was kind of buried at the beginning and wisened up and put. There we go.
Right wing three, good for Fritz.
Put Wallen back on the top where he can impact the game a little bit more.
BW now within 2. It's good to see Colin finding his stroke from the perimeter. Wallen, top of the key, good look from Omlov, is straight through. That is not an easy shot for 99% of high school players. That is a relatively easy shot for Jordan Momloff.
Yeah, I mean, that's NBA range 3.
Really tough attempt there for Coonan. Hotly contested, no good.
Yeah, I think one of the misconceptions about Momlov is that he's just a volume shooter, but he is quick. And he's got some ups to him too. He's strong.
And in the early going, just watching Jordan on offense, it looks like he's evolved maybe from, like you mentioned, a high volume three-point shooter to more of a Steph Curry role. Very, very mobile in this offense for Prescott. Looking to find his shot, and that's something you have to do when you're going to be a player that has the #1 target on his back.
Well, yeah, and you're going to do it when you're 5'10".
100%.
Right? I mean, he's not going to be able to get shots against guys that are significantly taller than him.
Tammers, good look from the corner for the sophomore.
And so he's got to do other things to compensate for that, and quick releases and backing up further are all things he's got to do.
Good shot fake by Guthrie, good finish by Guthrie. 4 big points off the bench for the senior. Tammers loses it. We're going to have a full timeout from Coach Johnson.
Since 1935, Baldwin Greenhouse has been serving Baldwin and the surrounding area by offering the freshest flowers, plants, and gifts for any occasion. Some of the flowers and many of the plants are grown right on site. They'd love to help with anything you need. Give them a call at 715-684-2104 or visit online at baldwingreenhouse.com. The freshest ingredients we can get, cooked to your preferences and served in an atmosphere that welcomes you if you're in your best clothes or your oldest t-shirt. We want you to come back to real food. Come to the Phoenix Grill. It's all here. Are you? Members of Wisconsin Credit Union can access account information and take care of most everyday banking needs via Wisconsin Online, the mobile app, and text banking. Immediate access to your Wisconsin accounts is also available 24 hours a day via touch-tone phone. Visit them at wisconsincu.org to learn more. Whether we're cooking the perfect Butterburger to order or scooping up our freshest batch of the flavor of the day, we work hard to ensure you will always leave happy. We know you have a lot to do and many options to choose from, so we appreciate when you take the time to visit Culver's of Baldwin.
So after an early lead from BW, as he raced, Prescott now holding on to the lead for the last handful of minutes. Stands at 6 now, 26-20. BW led by Sean Van Someren, who's on the bench at the moment, but he's got 10. Kuhn in good position underneath, uses his strength, quickly displays his block, fouled on the way up.
And that's going to have to be, and it should be, a focus of what we do. Sean Van Someren is actually leaving the gym right now. Not sure why, I just left the coach hall. But getting Eli a touch, and I don't necessarily want it to be on the block, but anywhere, from the mid post to the elbow, because one thing that I think we're going to see is when he touches it, there's going to be a double. And
right.
We're going to have to make perimeter shots. And him catching, attracting a double, and then finding a shooter, because the guys that are surrounding him on the floor are all capable of making shots. Must have been a blood jersey. We're pulling a little Cam Thompson here, huh?
We are. So Sean Van Someren was 32, has been 32 all season, is now going to be number 5. Hawks forced a turnover. Now on offense. Fritz thought about it. He's hit a couple from that spot tonight.
So go play short corner. Use the low to high. Use the where spacing's bad. There's seeing that work, but the space between Eli on the block and Guthrie in the short corner. It worked that time, but that's not something I would be real comfortable doing every time. If he can post up more towards the mid post, that's going to provide more spacing.
Sure.
Good move.
Really nice move by Stewart in the mid post for the Cardinals.
Stewart really struggled against the Hawks at Prescott. I think he probably had more fouls and turnovers than he had points.
Physical underneath. Kunin thrives in that context, and he, at one point, instantaneously moved Brandon Stewart about 6 inches in less than a second.
I think it was more than 6 inches.
I mean, that was an emphatic move underneath the basket, pretty much just kind of putting his shoulder down. But the way the game's been called this evening, do what you have to do. First free throw good for Kunin, who has struggled at times from the stripe throughout the season.
I think it was probably closer to 6 feet that he moved him. Coach Kiefer talked about it the other night. Eli just doesn't have a lot of arc in his free throw.
Right. Yeah, kind of a line drive.
That's
Lease right wing 3, no good.
Evan definitely made the right choice. He had to pick between going to Temmers and going to Leask, and he went to Temmers, and we saw Leask take that same shot earlier and miss by about 11 feet.
And Kunin with great position, using his height advantage, using his size advantage, forces 2 more free throws.
Prescott's got 3 fouls. And they've all been on Eli shooting. And that's been a result of the Hawks going to him in the post. And Block's going to have to come out of the game, and he's the best matchup.
First one good for Kunin.
He's the best matchup by far. But at some point, Brandon Stewart's not, he's maybe 6'2", 6'3". You're going to have to go to somebody on your bench and just say, hey, give me what you can give me. And if you foul, you foul.
Right.
And could that be Mason Schomer?
Block will come out of the game. So in now for the Cardinals, junior Mason Schomer, number 21. Right corner 3, in and out for Momlov. He's yet to find a consistent stroke this evening. Player you can't let get hot.
And that's the right. All of that is the process is right. It wasn't a great pass, but that's what you want Eli to do. Find the open guy, cut towards the basket.
And that's part of what makes Dallas Wallen such a special player. Is he's made his hay this evening, defensively, using his length, his rebounding, facilitating some scoring, but to be able to in rhythm, and smooth stroke.
Schomer's just banging with Eli, and he's doing a great job. They want 3 in the lane, I get it. And then as soon as there's a touch, there's a double, and that's good basketball, good defense.
Fritz will penetrate. That is a really nice move. An excellent effort, rebound by Kunin. And the Prescott bench has got to be careful as they're letting the officials know their displeasure. Hawks down 3, Prescott 31, BW 28.
Good pass.
Good look, can't quite finish. Van Stormer's cooled off since his initial 10.
Yeah, and the thing that's hard to judge is you don't want to penalize guys for being good athletes, right? It's not a foul if the advantage is that you can jump higher.
Right.
And so Eli, who's also not just bigger but stronger than most people, it's really hard to determine if what he did is a foul. And he jumped up and used his strength to kind of move somebody. I don't think I would have called a foul personally, but I'm guessing there's people here that would have, and that's just like that. I mean,
Borkhardt flies in. He's fouled. This is rhythm from the perimeter, not quite taking off, but able to get near the basket. 2 free throws result.
And Stewart's got his second now, so I would think we're going to get Temmers in. And Schomer, I mean, what he did in these last couple possessions has earned him some second half run.
Stewart takes a break.
And really smart, I think, on Coach Benoit's part there too. I mean, he's going to roll with Eli for 36, but he's going to give him a minute. And he's not going to pick up his second foul from the bench.
Right.
And that's going to be advantage us, having Eli go in the second half with just 1 foul.
Temmers, good look, just left to the top of the key. Good board by Borkhardt. Lease fights for it.
That's a really questionable no call.
Hawks within 3.
So James rebounds and falls over. And less traveled. So I mean we're good here. We're ignoring travels. This game might as well be on TNT.
No kidding. 5-point lead for Prescott. A lot going on. 5 seconds to go. Who's going to take the shot? Somebody's gotta. It'll be Borkhardt. No good. And that's the half. Competitive, physical, high-level basketball in that first half. BW down 5 at the break, 30-35. But we are excited for a second half of more good basketball. So we're going to take a quick break here, about 10 minutes or so. We'll join you for the second half right after the break.
before we get back into action here, just want to tell you about a few more of our advertisers. The market is changing. Take advantage of our combined 30-plus years of experience to guide you through it. Call Don at 715-684-9541 or Andrew at 715-928-0410 of Timberland Realtors for all your realty needs. Flagship Ford is your source for new and used Ford cars, trucks, SUV parts, service, and more in the Baldwin area. Our goal is to provide the best possible service to our customers to make sure your car buying experience is second to none. We're conveniently located at 850 Fern Drive in Baldwin. All right, Jordan, you're back on the mic.
All right, couple of minutes away from half number 2 after a high-flying first half. Finished with Prescott in the lead 35-30, but a lot of different storylines coming into the second half. First and foremost, the physicality of the first half. Will that be something that continues in the second half? Will the whistle continue to be blown few and far between in those physical interactions underneath the basket? I think most notably that'll affect BW's chances with the play of Eli Kuhn. He kind of found his rhythm physically under the basket later in that half.
Yeah, and if it continues to be called the way that it was called in half number 1, that's advantage Baldwin Woodville.
Right.
So that, I mean, he got to the free throw line 4 for 6, got both of Prescott's starting front court players into the half with 2 fouls. So that's storyline number 1. What's your next storyline?
Well, is Momlov going to continue to facilitate, be more of a distributive point guard, or is he going to be more of a scorer, something that he's done against BW more times than we've liked in the past? I mean, I think the initial encounter between these two teams this season, he had north of 30, and BW's been susceptible to opposing perimeter shooters and high-flying scorers kind of going off with multiple 30-plus games given up this year. Curious what the development will be in the second half from that standpoint, or do you know, from your perspective, what do you think Coach Johnson tries to do to combat some of the things that BW's given Prescott?
Well, I think in Jordan's case specifically, he broke 40 when we were at Prescott.
40.
Yeah, and so I think the part that you kind of teeter on is you don't want to start to force things. You know, he's getting contested shots, and I don't think any of those are bad shots. But I think now that he's really kind of been able to not have to go hard that first half, I mean, he just kind of he's settled. So I think, in Coach Johnson's mind, it's going to be like, let's do the exact same thing we were doing. Jordan's going to start getting free. Dallas made a perimeter shot. Temmers made a perimeter shot. Block made a perimeter shot. So I don't think there's a lot of offensive changes that Coach Johnson's going to make. I think the emphasis is going to be what they do at the defensive end of the floor.
BW starts with it.
Still that zone for Prescott.
And a lot of bodies around Kunin. Kunin fouled as he tries to dish it to Van Someren.
Yeah, aggressive doubles from the wing. And I do find it interesting that, you know, Block's just kind of content to stand behind him. Where I think if you tried to not let him get it with his back to the basket, you'd be better off.
Kunin gets it on that possession, goes up 2 off the backboard and in for the senior. Hawks within 3.
So we got Evan with a total face guard of Momlov. So that's a little different look. Take your 6'4" sophomore and just drape him over. Momlov is telling Dallas, hey, they're triangle and 2-ing us right now.
BW once again looking to get it into Kunin. They do, and he'll go up for 2 more.
Again, when you stand behind him, he's going to get what he wants.
Momlov dish to Stewart. Hands off to Block. Acrobatic attempt, no good. Lease will hit the deck. Here come the Hawks. Length of Wallen really an issue at the top. Multiple steals in the first half for the junior. Baseline jumper, Van Someren, good.
And the lead, huh?
And the lead, 36-35. Hawks 6 straight points out of the break. Short bench for both teams. Good defense there by Kuhn. He'll take it away.
Yep, get it to him. Get it to Eli.
Like you mentioned, Prescott willing to
let him get it. I don't understand.
Fritz all the way around, all the way underneath, and 2 more for the junior. Fritz averaging over 7 a game this season. We're going to get a timeout after an 8-0 run to start the half for BW.
Strikers Lanes and Sports Bar at 780 Cedar Street in Baldwin offers something for everyone. If you're interested in the competition and camaraderie of a team, come join one of the bowling leagues offering men, women, couple, seniors, and youth leagues that run from September through April. Reserve an open bowling time for family, friends, work, or birthday parties. When you get hungry or thirsty from all the bowling fun or while watching the big games on the many big screen TVs, Strikers Sports Bar is sure to satisfy. Check out our menu and weekly food and drink specials at strikerslanes.com. Defensively, there's some issues right now for the team in black.
Right. Yeah, absolutely allowing Kunin to get it possession after possession and then letting him facilitate or go to the basket. Obviously not the recipe for success here in half number 2. 8 consecutive points for the Hawks, none thus far for the Cardinals.
And now we're running Mom off screens, and that's figure eights.
And some of the energy Malmlaw was able to save in the first half is going to come into handy in the second half. He's going to stay active off the ball. Wow. Block, top of the key 3, off to the right. Good rebound by Kunin.
And Evans chasing Malmlaw around, but
top of the key 3, good for Clausen.
The one thing you wonder about is, obviously Coach Roy is going to give him breaks and probably switch some guys up, but good pass.
Good look from Wallen to Stewart.
You wonder about if Evans' legs are going to be there late in the game. He's your primary ball handler. He's still young. You got to figure out how to empty the tank the right way.
Kunin going to work once again, and he's hot to start this second half. BW hot to start this second half.
I got both seniors with 14 on the night.
43-37. Could not begin the second half better.
I don't know what the board's trying to say. The board is not right.
Clausen glued to Malmlav. Can't separate Kim Malmlav. Another good look for block. Right corner, no good.
Brady Block's a good player, but Coach Johnson's not drawing up Brady Block 3-point attempts on his whiteboard.
I think you're right. Six-point lead for the Hawks. Down by 5. They have completely turned the tables, and they continue to do so.
It's absolutely mind-blowing that they're going to just stand behind Eli. Like, he's going to score 35.
No change in strategy thus far for the Cardinals. Complete turn of the tables. Wallen doing his best to keep the Cardinals in it.
Precision Truck Service is a full-service heavy truck and trailer repair shop located in Baldwin, offering all types of general repair for heavy truck and trailer, diesel, mobile service, alignments, computer diagnostics, welding, fabrication, and sandblasting. As a Michelin heavy truck tire dealer, we offer best in pricing on Michelin, BFG, and Uniroyal tire brands, balancing and installation. Give us a call at 715-760-0768 or stop in. We are located conveniently on the north side of Baldwin under the water tower. Firehelm Langer is a CPA firm with offices in Baldwin, Ellsworth, and River Falls. At Firehelm Langer, our clients are our top priority. We offer the skills and expertise of a large CPA firm combined with the personal attention and responsiveness of a smaller firm. When you partner with us, we take the time to get to know you, understand your goals, and build a lasting professional relationship. We invite you to turn to us at Firehelm Langer for bookkeeping services, payroll services, financial projections, tax preparation, tax planning, and all of your accounting and tax needs.
Well, after a first half where Prescott, after a slower start, kind of followed their recipe and thought maybe we could run this out through the second half, Hawks completely reversing the course. Now up 6 after down 5 at half. Right wing 3, Clausen long. Stewart will sky for the rebound, and a foul will be called. Only the second of this second half.
So when I told you before that the number was 55, that was basing it on a pace of play, not on the fact that we're going to shoot 80% from the floor because Prescott's not going to guard us.
Right. It's a good problem to have. Stewart working in the post. Good move.
He's got 11.
Showing his proficiency in and around the basket tonight. A couple nice moves in and around the basket.
Actually, he's got 12.
Now Block doing his best to deny. Coach Johnson commanding Lease to double the post, which he did not do soon enough. Allowed Kunin to get rid of it to Borkart for a triple. Hawks up 7. Lease running one-hander is good.
Ian Lease, 10 points.
None of them conventionally.
No. Nope.
But they've found the basket, and we're going to get another timeout, full timeout for BW.
Nielsen's Foods has been serving communities since 1903. We offer full-service caribou coffee, bakery, deli, and meat departments. We pride ourselves with our award-winning Nielsen's Market meats and our friendly staff. Nielsen's vision is to build a strong family of customers and employees by delivering superior service to our customers, offering employee growth opportunities, reinvesting in our stores, and serving in our communities. St. Croix Garage Doors provides Western Wisconsin with top-quality garage door sales, service, and installation. We proudly serve Baldwin, Woodville, Hudson, Nourishment, River Falls, Stillwater, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Give Brian a call today at 715-781-8989 for a quote, install, or service. Is hitting the lottery your idea of financial planning? Consider meeting with financial advisor Brandon Graber with Whitecap Financial Advisors for a strategy session that helps put you more in control of your financial future. They specialize in investment management, financial and retirement planning, life insurance, and education funding. Call today to set up your no-cost, no-obligation appointment at their Roberts or Turtle Lake location by calling 715-760-9001. From the roughest seas to the highest peaks, Whitecap Financial Advisors will be with you every step of the way. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Woodbury Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA, SIPC. Insurance offered through Whitecap Financial Advisors LLC, which is not affiliated with Woodbury Financial Services. So if you're looking at the scoreboard for points, don't, because it's wrong. Collins got 8, Evans got 3, James has 3, Reese has 4, Sean has 14, Eli has 16 for Prescott. Jordan Malmlove has 6, Ian Leask has 10, Dallas Wallen has 9, Barrett Temmers has 3, Brandon Stewart has 12, I think I said 14, but he's got 12, and Brady Block has 3.
And we have man defense out of the break for Prescott. Top of the key 3, Fritz. Long, almost got the brick and in. Board by Borkart. Results in a putback where he's fouled.
You know, it's frustrating as a coach to watch you switch from zone to man-to-man, which should automatically give you a better chance to get a defensive rebound and then give up an offensive rebound.
Right. First free throw good for Borkart. Six-point lead for the Hawks. Second one good. 7-point lead for BW. Prescott needs answers quickly for the BW defensive strategy. Malmov completely limited in this second half.
Yeah, Prescott is going to need to go to more pressure in the backcourt. Officiating is difficult.
Can't even get a frustration foul.
No. Oh, man, it's hard, but it's consistent so far tonight. It's been consistently not great.
Wallen, really nice effort. Steal, finish, and one.
I'm trying to find the words, but
There aren't any. Well, the word is poor.
Yeah.
It's been a poorly officiated contest. Credit to the athletes for continuing to play and play hard. A lot of pivot. Way to keep his pivot foot down for the sophomore. And that's a 6-point lead once again for the Hawks. Wallen, he's getting in the mix of things. 2 straight possessions with a bucket.
So he's got 11. Leask has 10. Stewart has 12. Dallas Wallen only 6. High-low motion here, ladies and gentlemen.
Kunin with all 5 bodies within reach. Misses a lightly contested jump hook. Temmer's thought about it. He'll sky in for a running one-hander, no good.
I mean, the scoreboard says 4. It doesn't feel that close.
No.
We've dominated the last 9 minutes.
Absolutely. Second half's been all Blackhawks. Good look. Not going to take it as Clausen.
For those of you that don't have great eyesight, number 5 is Sean Benzoman.
Early candidate for player of the game in the second half for the Hawks, Evan Clausen. He's hit 2 timely threes. And defensively, there isn't anybody working harder. He's completely limited Jordan Malmlov. One of the premier players, defending player of the year in this conference.
Yeah, and one of the things that it might be, the ask of here is, Evan, we need you to exert everything you got defensively.
Top of the key 3, no jump. And if you're going to pull it out of your bag of tricks, you might as well do it at home against Prescott on Parents' Night.
19 for Eli. That says 16, but it's wrong. He's got 19.
Malmlov skies in for 2. He will draw the foul, and he's having to reach into his bag.
This foul is on Eli, I believe, his second. So what I was saying earlier is you ask the sophomore, hey, give me everything you got on defense, and then the expectation offensively drops off. And so he's not thinking about offense, he's just playing, and he's doing things in rhythm and making shots.
First free throw good.
And sometimes what you need is a volume scorer. Not that I ever had this happen, because I wasn't a volume scorer. But you're not making baskets, you're not doing what you normally do. Sometimes the best way to get that rolling is to just see a free throw going. And
right.
Getting to the free throw line, he watches the first one goes in, he watches the second one go in. That might be what he needs. I didn't see it, but I think Pete missed something.
Good dish by Clausen down to Guthrie.
You watch that and report back on the replay. Block is driving into Colin, who's Did you see what happened there, or are we still catching there?
So Fritz gets out of bounds with it to inbound it, fumbles it inbounds, goes inbounds with one foot, still out of bounds with another foot, touches the ball after he fumbles it into play, touches the ball while out of bounds. Evan picks it up, no call.
So that's an egregious bad call. Egregiously poor, right?
It's crazy.
Oh,
SBW fans, I mean, obviously that call goes in favor of the Blackhawks, but just for competitive integrity.
Yeah, that's something that's well.
And there probably isn't a streaming service that's been more generous to officials over 3 years. It's impossible at this point. Good look from Clausen into Van Someren. Oh, just unable to finish. Hawks still have 8, and we're in the final quarter. 7:23 to play. Block, no good once again. He can't find his stroke, and like you mentioned, I'm not sure that triples from 33 are the way that Prescott is going to be able to get back in this one. Good defense by Block, but not good enough. Kunin, 2 more, 10-point cushion.
21, and if there's not going to be an adjustment defensively, it's not going to be closer than 10 the rest of the way.
Good effort there by Borkart as he's caught by the ever-dependable Nev Lockerman.
There's not an answer for Eli. And there's not even like this isn't working. What else can we try? You got 7 guys. Like, turn around and say, you got an idea?
Yeah. It's interesting to think that the last time these two teams met, it was so different. Obviously, officiating has a lot to do with it. And I think Coach Johnson's seen the writing on the wall when it comes to making his argument for different calls. Falling on deaf ears this evening in the West Gym. Left wing 3, Borkart. (60-50), BW in the lead. Momlov in around the basket, gets stripped. No call.
I'll be honest. Every time Jordan Momlov passes the ball from here on out, I'll be kind of surprised, because it ain't gonna work.
Momlov and Wallen and Stewart, the trifecta that's led this group to many victories, needs to get going. But they also need to stop the Blackhawks, and they haven't been able to do it. Sean Van Someren once again. Wallen in around the basket, ton of contact, no call.
It's not that they haven't been able to. It's like, it's a half effort. Like, they're not guarding.
Fritz, really good look into Van Someren, unable to finish.
Like, dude, either go or don't go, but don't stand.
Right.
Whatever you do, do it with conviction. And standing with conviction is really not a thing. Yeah, we got it. We got one now. That's Sean Van Someren, number 5, is first.
I would love to watch this back with Nick Pack and Jeremy Werner.
I wouldn't.
To over-under, like the amount of times the remote gets thrown, the amount of times the TV's off of its brackets, like.
Werner's on his phone. He's texting right now. He's like, I don't know what he's texting, but he's not impressed. All right, I got some ads to read. Finding health insurance can be complicated and time-consuming. Let Charlotte Heimer, an independent local agent who is specialized in finding healthcare benefits and resources, help your family and get the best coverage and lowest rates available. Call Charlotte at 715-781-1762 or Google Charlotte Heimer in Woodville. Precision Excavating Enterprises is a full-service excavating, grading, and trucking contractor located in Baldwin, offering all types of residential and commercial earth-moving, septic systems, demolition, landscaping, driveways, and building sites. Our trucking division offers dump truck, grain hopper, and flatbed hauling services, sand, gravel, fill delivery, serving the Baldwin and surrounding western Wisconsin areas. Give us a call at 715-760-0768 for free estimates. Need a place to stop after the game? Look no further than Hilltop Pizza Planet, located at 2508 Highway 12 in Woodville. In a kitchen that stays open until closing time, they've got your cravings covered, whether it's a pizza, burger, or hoagie. What's even better, mention Blackhawk TV after any sporting event and get 20% off your entire bill. Sound too good to be true? Stop in today to get this deal before it's too late. So BW with the ball. And one might say Prescott on defense, but I don't know that I would say that tonight. Jordan?
It's interesting. It's been an interesting night of basketball. Still happy to call it, still happy to see it. Obviously happy with the result thus far. Hawks up 12, 4:30 to play. Using his strength in and around the basket. I just played back the BW versus Columbus playoff game, and early in that game, Fritz had a reception where he fought through the tackles of a number of well-equipped Columbus Cardinals. He is sneaky strong, and he was strong on that possession. No good on the three from Omlov. And offensively and defensively,
that came about 8 minutes too late if you're a Prescott fan.
the phrase that comes to mind is white flag, like waving the white flag. Strategically, it just does not seem like there is much new being offered. His block connects finally with 3:41 to play. Prescott down 11. And it might be notable to mention they're coming off of a near 20-point loss at Cameron. This is not the trajectory that Prescott wants at this point in the season.
No. I want to thank all of our sponsors here one last time. Strikers Lanes and Sports Bar, Timberman Realty, CW Garage Door Distribution, Whitecap Financial Advisors, First Bank of Baldwin, which is now Pillar Bank, Federer Jewelers, Phoenix Grill, Baldwin Lightstream, Nielsen's Foods, Hilltop Pizza Planet, Precision Truck Service, St. Croix Custom Apparel, Precision Excavating Enterprises, Blackhawk Garage Door, Schaefer Financial Services, Culvers of Baldwin, Baldwin Greenhouse, St. Croix Garage Door, Western Wisconsin Credit Union, TMS Auto, Fire Home Langer, Western Wisconsin Health Village Pharmacy, Pete's Construction, O'Connell Funeral Homes, Next Level Events by 22 Farms, Marco Septic, Flagship Ford, Independent Insurance Option with Charlotte Heimer, and Auto Appeal. Thank you to all of our sponsors here at Blackhawk TV. Without you, this ain't a thing. Yeah, now we got a little 1-2-1-1 diamond pressure where we're going to try to trap corners, and then we got to fall back to the middle. What did I do? Oh, we lost our scoreboard clock.
So Coach Johnson hears my critique and quickly changed the strategy. Down 11, 3:23 to play. Hawks force a turnover. And here come the Hawks. Fritz wisely slows it down. Turnover is forced by the Cardinals, and here come the Cardinals for two more.
Stewart now 14. I believe that leads the Cardinals. Our student sections is a lively bunch tonight.
Absolutely. Enjoying all that tonight has been. Hawks up 9. 2:30 and some to play. And they're fine with just passing around at this point. Prescott a lot of work to do to even get the Hawks in the bonus, and that's an easy 2.
18 for Shawnee boy. Oh, that's a carry.
And to Coach Benoit's credit, the answer of Evan Clausen glued to Malmlov has completely upended this Prescott offense. They have scored 20 points in the second half. 35-30 at half. Close to on their average pace for the season. Completely off the tracks.
And we're scoring well above our average.
Right.
Which I think is, I mean, we're going to defend. There's no doubt about that.
Who wants to get the ball? The Hawks do. Shaman Somanen around the basket.
That's not legal.
And he went up with it, came down with it, and went back up with it and scored. That's the best version of play-by-play I can do on that.
Yep.
Lease, and that won't fall. And we'll get a foul on Lease. And the Hawks are going to do it with 1:37 to play.
Yeah, a lot of things in play tonight.
A lot. Yeah, I'll just not.
The Blackhawks played very good defense.
They did?
The Cardinals played not good defense. Guys 11, 12, and 13 on the court maybe played the worst of anybody on the court.
What I'll say, first and foremost, is it's about the players, and a win is a win, and winning in front of this many fans against a rival, a perennial power, is awesome. So I'm so happy for our athletes in white. Good. Sean Van Somen once again.
22 for Shawnee.
But as a fan of good basketball,
yeah,
there's been malfeasance.
Yeah.
Because you can't play good basketball if the rules. Oh, and block will disrupt that dunk attempt. But you can't play good basketball or watch good basketball or participate in it if the rules aren't in play.
Correct.
There's a reason that the rules are there. It's why
Lando.
They exist, and we're going to get Landon, PD, Guthrie, and Ferndenzer.
Yeah, I mean,
against Prescott nonetheless, getting to play some athletes that absolutely earned it through a lot of time and practice. Years with the program.
Yeah, good. I mean, yeah, great win.
An unbelievable win for the Hawks.
And in fairness to the officiating was bad both ways.
Correct.
And so regardless of how officials officiate a game, you got to do what you got to do to win.
Absolutely.
And the Hawks defensively did it, offensively did it, but it's so hard to know how a well officiated game, how these two teams would match up.
Right. And it was poorly officiated in a manner that is huge advantage for BW. They're going to allow us to use our best player, and Eli Kunin, to be as physically dominant as he can be, to play football, which that's not, making little of anything he did, but he was able to just, hey, I'm going to start at a 3 of intensity. Is this legal? It is? Okay, I'll go to a 4. Still legal, 5, and he got to go all the way up. And that's awesome for him and his skill set. And as he continues to progress as an athlete and as a basketball player, understanding how dominant he can be is a huge recipe to success for this BW group.
So Sean's got 23. Now, okay, so 23. Does he just stick with 5?
Right. Cam Thompson.
Feedy's getting a 3. Feedy's getting a 3 that Malmlov didn't get in the second half.
Nice dish there from Van Someren to Guthrie, and the unbelievable second half for the Hawks continues. 43-20 in the second half, if you're curious.
Well, what did I tell you when it was 10 points?
Felt worse than it was, and it's Now it's worse.
No, at 10 points I said, if this is how they're going to defend,
Oh, correct.
it's never
correct,
getting
correct.
closer.
Yep. I'm so happy for those kids on the bench.
And the
Well
parents in the
earned.
stands, and
Yeah.
the student section, Coach Benoit, all the coaching staff.
This is a well earned victory.
Get it to
for the
Lando.
Hawks.
Get it to Lando.
Lando to the corner. Oh, I thought he was going all the way. He's going to come around.
Running off screens. Do it. Go ball screen for the guy. This is a 30. Pull it.
Fritz instead will dribble it out, and that is one that these Blackhawk will remember forever. Big win at home. Prescott can't wait to get out, but that's all right for BW fans. Thank you so much for joining us here at Blackhawk TV. It's been a ton of fun tonight, and as things get closer and closer to March Madness, the playoff stretch, we thank you more and more for joining us and helping us make this as much fun as it is. So we'll see you next time here on Blackhawk TV. For Jordan Lehman, Jeremy Nygaard, and Zach Ambrose, have a good night.